She messaged LOL, "You really thought I'd skip my Vegas trip for your surgery." I texted back my mistake when I needed her support, but what the nurse told her on the call later completely turned that vacation upside down. I, 28 male, found out about the tumor on my kidney on a Tuesday afternoon. A day that started like any other but quickly turned into something that made my whole world shift. It began as a routine checkup, nothing to worry about, but the doctor's expression changed slightly as he explained that they needed more tests. That turned into a conversation about scheduling surgery, and suddenly the casual appointment felt like a life-altering moment. Thankfully, the tumor was benign, but its location right on my kidney made removal absolutely necessary, and the doctor explained that recovery would take at least 4 weeks, with the first week being critical for support. I needed someone around, someone to help me walk, eat, and handle daily tasks while I recovered, and as I sat in the car after leaving the hospital, the weight of everything pressed on me. I thought immediately of my girlfriend, Gianna, the woman I loved, the woman I lived with, the woman I planned to propose to, hoping she would understand, hoping she would care. I called her on the way home, trying to keep my voice calm, hoping she would offer support and comfort, hoping she would be the partner I thought she was. "Hey babe, just got out of the doctor," I said. "Remember that pain I've been having?" There was a pause, and then I could hear the clicking of keys as she typed. "They found something. I need surgery." My heart dropped, and the air around me felt heavy. The typing stopped. "Surgery? Like serious surgery?" she asked slowly, as if processing something unexpected. "Yeah." April 15th. "They need to remove a growth on my kidney." There was a beat of silence. Then she spoke again, and my stomach sank. "Wait, that's the week of Vegas." I tried to explain the situation calmly, knowing that surgery was serious, that the surgeon had a waiting list, that moving it was impossible, but her response was not empathy or concern. "I know.
I'm sorry.
Maybe you could reschedule?" Silence hung between us, a heavy, painful silence that showed exactly how little my fear, my health, and my life meant to her plans. "Reschedule Vegas? Do you know how long we've been planning this?" 6 months. I tried again, reasoning that surgery was different from any other appointment, that it was serious and could not be postponed like a movie or concert ticket, but she was angry, exasperated, rolling her eyes at the idea that her vacation could be complicated by my life-threatening surgery. "This is typical," she said. "I finally planned something for myself and suddenly there's a crisis." That night, she walked in late, dropped her purse on the counter, and glared at me like I had personally arranged my tumor and surgery to ruin her trip. "So, I talked to the girls," she said, "and they think it's manipulative that you're asking me to cancel." Manipulative? I thought, trying to process her words. I have a tumor. I need surgery. I need support. And this is manipulative? Doctors always say things are urgent. She dismissed. That's how they make money. I sat in silence, feeling shocked and hurt, wondering how someone I loved could treat me like this. We had been together 3 years, living together for 1. This was the woman I planned to propose to, and she looked at me like I was a stranger trying to interfere with her plans. I tried once more, explaining I needed someone there when I got out of surgery. "Hire a nurse," I suggested. She rolled her eyes, completely dismissing my needs. "You want me to hire a stranger instead of being here?" I asked. "I want you to stop making me feel guilty about a trip I've had booked since October," she retorted. She stormed off to the bedroom, leaving me on the couch, alone, confused, and exhausted by the emotional weight of her response. The next morning, she was already dressed for work. "I'm going to Vegas," she announced. "The girls are counting on me. Plus, I already paid for everything." I nodded quietly, feeling defeated. What was I supposed to say? Support her life while mine almost ended on a table with a knife and tumor? My bad. Have fun in Vegas while I have organ surgery, I thought bitterly. She rolled her eyes. "So dramatic, it's outpatient, right?" I told her no, 2 to 3 days in the hospital. "Whatever, I'm sure you'll be fine," she dismissed. I felt completely alone and unsupported, struggling with the reality that the woman I trusted most was choosing a vacation over my health. 2 weeks before surgery, I reached out one last time, my fingers shaking as I typed.
I'm scared.
I've never had surgery before. I really need you there. Hours later, her response arrived. LOL. You actually thought I'd cancel my Vegas trip for your surgery. It's not even cancer. Stop being a baby. My heart sank. My mistake, I texted back, and I began making other arrangements. My sister Ruby flew in from across the country to help, understanding what true support meant. On the morning of April 15th, Gianna left for the airport at 5 a.m., gave me a quick peck on the cheek, and said, "Don't die," or whatever. Ruby drove me to the hospital, calm and steady, the only person who truly understood how vulnerable I felt. At the hospital, the prep nurse Dorothy asked about my emergency contact. Is it still Gianna Martinez? No, changed it to my sister Ruby Conrad, I said. Dorothy nodded and made notes. Good to have family here. Your girlfriend couldn't make it? Ruby snorted. She's in Vegas. Dorothy raised her eyebrows, shocked. Vegas? During surgery? I explained the situation calmly, and Dorothy stayed professional, reassuring me I was in good hands. Surgery went well. I woke up groggy, tumor gone. Ruby by my side with bad coffee and good energy. But then my phone blew up with messages from Gianna. Why aren't you answering? Hello? Pick up. Ruby read them out loud, since I was too tired and groggy. At 8 p.m., the hospital phone rang. Dorothy entered, smiling slightly. Mr. Conrad, Gianna Martinez calling from Las Vegas. Says she's your girlfriend and demands to speak with you. I said I was sleeping. Dorothy winked. Absolutely unconscious. Understood. She returned 10 minutes later, explaining that I was unresponsive, surgery had complications, and only immediate family could receive information. Partially true, but enough to keep Gianna from interrupting my recovery. She freaked out, sending rapid messages. What do you mean complications? Why is Ruby there and not me? This is insane. Pick up right now. I'm booking a flight home. If you die, I'll never forgive myself. Ruby laughed until she snorted. I let it be, too exhausted to deal with her drama. The next morning, I woke up to 73 texts and 31 missed calls. Ruby had been fielding them all night, calmly shielding me from the storm that was Gianna. She even told me later that Gianna tried to FaceTime me at 3 a.m., drunk from a casino, her voice shaky and angry, asking where I was, claiming I was in the ICU. Ruby stayed calm, explaining that I could not have visitors, keeping the whole situation vague enough to protect me from her obsession. I was exhausted, still recovering, yet my heart beat faster knowing she had escalated everything to social media, posting about an emergency, claiming she was flying home because I was in critical condition. Friends and family flooded her posts with comments and prayers, completely unaware that the surgery had gone smoothly, that I was fine, and that her panic was entirely manufactured by misunderstanding and assumptions she had chosen to exaggerate. Ruby showed me her phone later, proof of the drama she had created online. Emergency. Flying home from Vegas. Nolan is in critical condition. Please pray. Comments poured in. OMG, what happened? I thought it was routine surgery. My buddy Terrence texted, Bro, are you dying? Ruby laughed and told him the truth, that I was fine and that this was entirely Gianna's overreaction. She kept track of everything, documenting each message, each comment, each screenshot, all while I recovered, tumor removed, vital signs stable. Gianna was losing her mind from Vegas, completely unable to accept that I could be okay without her drama. Every post, every comment, every panic message showed how she had prioritized a vacation over my health. And yet she acted as if she had been the hero rushing back from Sin City to save me. By the afternoon, Dorothy, the nurse who had taken care of me, came in with a slight smile, knowing exactly what she was about to do. She told me that Gianna had built an entire narrative of complications, claiming I was unconscious, unresponsive, and in critical condition, all while I had been napping, tumor removed, recovery smooth. Dorothy said it politely but firmly. Honey, I've seen a lot in 30 years. Girlfriends who can't skip Vegas for surgery get what they deserve. I laughed weakly, exhausted and emotional, knowing that Ruby and Dorothy had my back, protecting me from the chaos Gianna had created. Everything was going smoothly, and yet I felt a strange satisfaction watching how her assumptions, her panic, and her self-importance crumble. Discharge day arrived, and Gianna finally found me. Her hair was wild, makeup smeared, designer clothes wrinkled, eyes red from crying or anger, or perhaps both. "Nolan, oh my God, you're alive!" she screamed, rushing forward like she had survived a war just to see me. I stared calmly, exhausted and still recovering, explaining slowly. I was never critical. Surgery was successful. Tumor removed. Recovery smooth. She stared at me, then at Ruby, then back at me, realizing that her panic, her drama, and her manipulation had failed completely. "You let me think you were dying," I said calmly. "Just like you thought Vegas was more important than my surgery." Her face turned red, speechless for the first time in weeks. Ruby took me to her hotel, ensuring proper care for my recovery, leaving Gianna to face the reality of her actions. She tried one last manipulation: what will people think? But I ignored her completely, prioritizing my health and recovery over her ego and vacation plans. She stormed out, posting on social media about strong, independent women, while I focused on healing, free, healthy, and tumor-free. Dorothy, Ruby, and I shared quiet moments of relief, laughing about the chaos, the calls, the texts, and Gianna's complete obsession with her vacation over my life. Weeks later, I was fully recovered, my kidney fine, my mind clear, and my heart at peace. Gianna had learned nothing, only that her assumptions and self-importance would not control me or my life. I had prioritized people who truly cared, family who were present, friends who stepped up, and the medical professionals who protected me. I was free, healthy, and finally realized that true support and love are measured in presence and actions, not words or drama.